And in this video, ladies and gents, we're going to look at changing our character from this lovely orange guy here into the character that we've designed in Pixel App. So the first thing you need to do is you need to open up your Pixel App animations. You can see I've got my four here, my jump, attack, idle, and run. And what we're going to do is we're going to export these as sprite sheets. To that, you go down to the folder, this image icon here. You click on it, we're going to go to PNG, and we're going to download it as a sprite sheet. So I'm going to do that for all my objects. Alright, so export PNG sprite sheet, export sprite sheet, and last one, sprite sheet. So I've got my four sprite sheets down here. What I can do is I can go back to Unity. I can open up my downloads folder where those sprite sheets have gone to. Alright, I'm going to select all of them and I'm going to drag them into my sprites folder. Alright, so what I can do now is I can turn these into animations. To do that, we're going to select one of our sprites. So I'm going to start with my attack sprite. Alright, I'm going to change the sprite mode here from single to multiple. Alright, and I'm going to go down to my sprite editor. So if we click on that, we're going to apply the changes. Alright, and this will open up our sprite editor. Now I'm going to drag it so it's a little bit bigger. Alright, I'm going to go up here to my slice. Alright, I'm going to set it to automatic, and I'm going to set my pivot to the bottom. Alright, and click on the slice tool. You can see it automatically slices it, so it selects our objects. Alright, what we can do is we can also set it to set it by the cell size. So if you know how big the pixel sizes are, you can enter that automatically. Alright, mine here is 64 by 64. Alright, you can see it automatically slices that for us. Once you've done that, so I'm going to set this to 64 by 64. Alright, because I know that's the size of my cells, I'm going to press the apply button. Alright, then if I close this, and I go down here to my attack, alright, and click the arrow, I've got my four individual sprites. So to turn this into an animation, all I need to do is select all five of these sprites, so 0 through 4. Alright, I'm going to drag this into my scene. Alright, so if I go to my scene here, alright, I'm going to select these four and I'm going to drag this just onto my scene anywhere. Alright, it'll pop up automatically as trying to create an animation. So I'm going to put this in my animation folder. Alright, and this is my attack animation. So I'm going to call it attack. So I'll save that. Alright, then I'm going to do that for my other four animations. So for idle, we can change it to multiple. Alright, edit it. Alright, 64 by 64. I'll do the same thing for jump. And do the same thing for run. Right, and then it's just a matter of doing the same thing to create the animation. Alright, so now I've created my animations, I can make sure that they work. To do that, I'm just going to zoom into my scene and press the play button. And once that starts playing, you should see them running through their animations. So you see my run, my attack, my idle, and my jump. Alright, so now I've got these working, I can start to modify them. Alright, so I'm going to remove these four objects from my hierarchy. So double click on my player object and we're going to make some changes to this. So I'm going to remove my two sprites that are currently underneath it. So I'm going to right click on player, I'm going to go down to create empty. I'm going to leave the name as game object for now. Alright, so I'm going to add a component. I'm going to add an animator to it. Alright, I'm also going to add a sprite renderer to this. And I'm going to add my capsule collider back to this. Alright, in 2D. Alright, so now I've got these things. I'm going to go to my idle sprite. Alright, I'm just going to grab the first one and drag that into my sprite renderer. Alright, so I can see my player here. I know that's quite small, so I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. I'm going to scale this up. So if we go to scale, and let's scale it to 3 by 3. You can see here it's a little bit big, so let's set that to 2 and 2. Looks pretty good. So now I can see here that my capsule collider is positively huge, so I'm going to make some adjustments to that. So I need to scale it down a little bit. Alright, and I'm going to offset it up a little bit. So if I click on my Y and I drag it up, and I'm going to offset it a little bit on the X as well. Alright, so that looks pretty good there. So let's just adjust our player down. Alright, you can see it's below their feet a little bit, so I'm going to move that up a little bit more. I like that. Looks pretty good. So what we need to do now is we need to create a controller to play our different animations. And then once we've done that, we can plug that into our animator, make a couple of more adjustments to our movement script, and set it so that it plays each animation based on what we're doing. Now we'll do that in our next video.